Hello every pony. Welcome back to chapter 10 of Night Patrol, written by Foxgear, read by Icy Knight. Last time we left Princess Luna in Crystal Empire. Now, we are back in Equestria, where Celestia has yet to know of what has happened. So let's see what actions she's about to take. Celestia flew through the early morning dew, raising the sun ever so slightly higher, smiling as she basked in its rays, reliving the morning chill from her coat. Normally she wouldn't be flying alone, or without her chariot, but she insisted to fly herself to the Crystal Empire for Cadence's coronation. This was her first vacation from Canterlot in a long while. She didn't want anything reminding her of that dreadful place for at least a few days. Stifling a yawn, Celestia peers down at the fresh snow on the ground. Winter in Equestria has been light so far, much to her enjoyment, as it gave her a little more time to enjoy the fall before the snow turns everything white. Spotting a grove of trees, she decides to land and stretch her legs for a good run through the woods. Looking around for any pony nearby, she was excited to find there were none. With the squirrel squeal of delight, she began running at full speed, shaking the trees and causing the leaves to fall, showing her in a dazzling whirlwind of reds, yellows, and oranges. This was why she loves fall. It was so beautiful and colorful, and best of all, it meant shorter days, so she can actually spend more time with Luna. Celestia trots came to a stop as she thought of Luna. They haven't talked face to face in months. She's been so busy that she hadn't even had time to send a letter. Then Luna sends her one, and it made her so happy. Until Stephanie sent a letter saying she invited Luna to Cadence's coronation. Celestia slapped herself for forgetting to send Luna her invite to the event. She dreads of what Luna might think when she revealed the letter. So she decided to wait till they could meet face to face to explain. Deciding she spent enough time on the ground, Celestia prepares to take flight when she noticed something on the path ahead. Curious, she trots over to see what it was. Is this blood? She hastily questions, touching the red puddle with her hoof. She shivered as the thick red liquid stains her white coat. Frantically, she began to look around for a wounded pony while calling out to them. "Hello? Is any pony there? If you can answer, please speak up. I'm here to help you." Hearing a low groan, Celestia dashed towards the source of the sound, coming to a halt as she found the bruised and bloody form of a white Pegasus mare. She grimaced at the mare's wing, which has bent and broken, the bones sticking out and riddled with frostbite and infection. The mare spoke, and Celestia leans in so she could hear. "Must get home. Must get Help! Luna! Celestia gasped. Luna! Has something happened to Luna? She wonders fearfully. Looking north to the Crystal Empire, Celestia wonders what could have happened. She wanted so badly to fly there right now, at full speed, but couldn't with the injured mare. Gently she picks up the mare with her magic, placing her on her back. She hesitates momentarily before taking off to Canterlot. As much as she wants to, she couldn't, in good conscience, leave the mare behind. Nor could she go in horn blazing without knowing what was going on. She'd take the mare to Canterlot for healing, and then plan from there. Just don't die before we get there, she begs the Pegasus as she pumps her wings faster. Pain was all she felt, and darkness was all she saw. Was she dead? She felt like she was floating, so she must be dead, right? Wait, if she was dead, then why did she feel pain? That must mean the afterlife sucks. Nightingale screams as she once again returns to the land of the living. Suddenly there was light. Too much light, in her opinion. Shielding her eyes with her forehoof, she found herself sinking. Bubbles float upward towards glide as her lungs filled with water. Why am I in a pool? She panics as two sets of hooves quickly pull her above water. Her body felt weird, like it was lighter or off balance, because she didn't feel any water resistant on her left wing. There, little pony. Shampoo, no let you drown, the pink-blue hair pony said to her. Sister Shampoo is right. We take care of you. Princess Celestia said you take highest priority. I am Ginseng, by the way, the second pony said, as a mare with her colors reserved. Now, how feeling, miss? Nightingale coughs up a few more ounces of water, and her mane tries to play catch up with what was going on around her. Nightingale, did you say princess? What the fuck happened to my wing? Nightingale stares blankly at her left flank, and then to her right, and then back again. Slowly she raises her right wing out of the water, flexing it, then letting it settle back to her side. Then she tries to move her left wing. There was nothing, just a little stub of flesh and bone that stuck out of her body. Her wing was gone. Nightingale began breathing very heavily. I think she's going into shock, Shampoo yells, quickly placing a nearby floating cloud beneath the Pegasus to catch her above water. Ginseng, help me calm her down. Already on it, she replies quickly, getting to work. Within minutes, they had the Pegasus stable again, but she was once again asleep. That was a close one, Shampoo said, wiping her brow. We should get her another blood transplant and get her to a real bed. I think the healing water has done all it can. Agreed. It's a shame we had to remove the wing, but it was beyond repair. Maybe we had the time to get a Pegasus doctor here in time. We could have enough ginsengs. What's done is done. We'll do some research and prevent such a thing from ever happening again. Shampoo smiles, encouragingly to her sister. only for it to turn into a frown as she remembers their other problem. I just hope we can get out of this mess without too much backlash from the nobles. Lord Yellowblood wasn't happy when the princess came to us and not his son, Dr. Goldcross. As if he really knows what he's doing, Sinjin said with scorn. They worked 8 years of their lives away, learning all they could about medicine from here to Zebraland. And that spoiled brat walks in one day and boom, head doctor. Outrageous. The sisters did the best of their work in silence, lest some noble brown noser overhear them. He had just gotten Nightingale onto the bed when Princess Celestia entered the room, looking up rather frizzed, to say the least. Are you in need of shampooing, Your Majesty? Your mane is looking a little rat-nested. The princess's son shook her head when she sits down next to the bed, her gaze fixed on Nightingale. Has she said anything yet? The sisters look nervously between one another. They play a quick game of straws with their hair to decide who gets to break the news to the princess. Ginseng, drawing short. She did awaken for a short while, but I'm afraid after seeing her wing removed, she went into shock and fell back to sleep. There's no telling when she'll wake up next. I suggest you... I'm staying, Celestia said firmly. Tell Bison and Stronghold to cancel all meetings and events. And I am not to be bothered. Of course, Princess. We'll bring you some tea and snacks later on. Ginseng and Shampoo bow and exit the room. Celestia vaguely noticed their departure. Her worry for the mare in front of her and for her sister was at the front of her mind. She tried sending a message via magic flame, but was blocked by some powerful magical force. She has since tried to send 50 messages in the past few hours. All of them failed. She wanted to fly to the Crystal Empire, find Luna, and get her out there as quickly as possible. Logic told her to wait, to find out what's going on, so she could go with her best hoof forward, and so she would wait. Please, my little pony, please wake up soon. Nightingale awoke with a groan and was feeling a little lightheaded. At least this time she wasn't in some pool, but rather a nice soft bed. Slowly she removes the blankets, wincing as dull aches of pain bombarded her nervous system. Carefully she touched the floor, wincing again as she applies weight to the leg, only for it to fall out from under her. Ugh! She grunts, clenching her teeth so she wouldn't cry out. She didn't want those nurses or any pony to try and stop her from leaving. She wasted too much time already. She had to get to the castle. Speaking of which, where was she? Going. Still, Nightingale looks around the room, taking note of the elephant design, the pool where she's been healed, and Princess Celestia sleeping by the bed. Wait, what? Whipping her head back around, Nightingale confirms that Celestia was indeed sleeping next to the bed that she had been in, meaning she was in Canterlot. Okay, just calm down, she whispered to herself. Virginia, get outside this heavy guarded castle, through a crowded city, across the country to the castle, without being noticed, with only one wing and extremely exhausted. Nightingale took a moment to plan things out and quickly came to a conclusion. Yeah, that's impossible. Plan B, then. Walking carefully, Nightingale maneuvers to Celestia's side, stood on her hind legs, and set her mouth right next to Celestia's ear, and screams really loud, "Wake up, princess! Rise and shine!" Celestia snaps awake, though she only flinched a little bit. Not the fly up and hit the ceiling kind of flinch Nightingale was expecting, but rather a I knew it was coming flinch. It was kind of disappointing. "I see you are awake, my little pony," the princess said, staring directly into Nightingale's eyes, causing the one-winged Pegasus to shiver, as it felt as if Celestia was looking into her soul. "We have much to talk about." Gathering her courage, Nightingale replies, "We do. And for the record, I'm not little. I'm just a little undergrown." "Of course," Celestia replies with a smile, though it quickly fades to something more serious. "Now, how about we start things off with your name and how you gained your wounds?" "I'm Nightingale of the Night Patrol. I am part of Princess Luna's guard detail for her trip to the Crystal Empire." Nightingale told Celestia the whole story, from arriving at the Crystal Empire to the Changeling invasion and to her flying to get help. Celestia took it all in without interrupting. Her tactical mind quickly went to work on how she could help take back the Crystal Empire. The first step would be rallying the noble guards, as they made up the bulk of the Equestrian warriors. Gaining the nobles' approval would be an entirely different war. "Thank you for your bravery, Nightingale. Rest assured, I will handle things from here. Once I amass our forces, I will—" "We don't have time for that," Nightingale blurts out. "We need to move fast. Take me to the castle. Let me speak with Commander Gadget, and we can get a force up and ready before those nobles can sit down in their chairs to argue about useless things, just as what they'll be getting out of it. I'm sure once I tell them of the Empire's plot, the nobles will come around and agree to help our friends in the north," Celestia said, but Nightingale only stares at her, shaking her head. "You know better, princess. I know you do," she said, limping towards the door. Halfway out, she stops, turning to face Celestia. "When you come to your senses, come find me, and I'll show you what your sister has created." "Bison, Stronghold," Luna calls out for her guards. They emerge moments later from some secret passage in the halls. "Gather the nobles for an emergency meeting. Tell them if they refuse to come, I will personally see to it they are charged for treason." The two guards bowed and took off, leaving Celestia to ponder Nightingale's words as she made her way to the council chambers. Surely the nobles are not selfish enough to leave fellow ponies hanging, would they? Later in the council chambers, Celestia sat at the head of the noble tables as usual, but there was something different in her posture that made the nobles wary. Never before has the princess been so harsh with her commands. Her face wasn't the usual soft, kind expression they were used to exploiting. No, the princess before them was steely-eyed and stern. They knew the princess would develop a backbone, but it was much too soon for their taste. You're all probably wondering why you were called here on such short notice. Yes, the princess began, summoning a map of the world onto the table. Our allies in the Crystal Empire are under attack by not one, but two armies. That of Meridor and the Changeling Hordes. My sister, Princess Luna, currently leads the defense there. The status of Princess Stephanie is unknown. The pony that informed me of the attack could only state that the Crystal Princess was lying on the ground when they left to get help. My ponies, we are in dire times. If we do not rise up and take down the invaders now, I fear they will set their sights on Canterlot next. So I beg you, gather your forces and march with me north to protect our kingdom. Silence fills the room, and Celestia was filled with hope that they would see reason and march with her. She was wrong, though. Very wrong. We must fortify our defenses, Greenblood yells. Yellowblood interjects. No, we should go north. But only if we agree to annex the Empire to Equestrian territory. I agree, shouts Lord Blueblood. Why should we help at all? Let Sombra take the Empire and form an alliance with him, Lady Violet suggests, earning a few nods for her suggestion. Celestia could only look on with fear and disgust. Angrily, she stomps out the room. Only when the doors were blown off their hinges did the nobles stop their arguing. Princess, where are you going? We haven't come to an agreement yet, Lord Yellowblood states, a little too smugly for the princess' taste. With burning eyes, she turns, facing the nobles with fury, the floor cracking beneath her hooves with her magic rose. I'm going to do what needs to be done. Stay here and cower in your beds for all I care. With that, she left, slamming the door shut, only for them to fall again. She's getting bolder. Soon she might start listening to that damn sister of hers. Lord Yellowblood huffs as he fell back in the seat. We must do something to remind her of her true role as our puppet, letting those common ponies think they have a voice. Greenblood nods. I agree. I think I have something in mind. Really, still going after that mare? Lady Violet chuckles. You're so... You, Greenblood. I try. Do you really think this is a good idea? The voice said, causing the nobles to stop their banter and stare at the speaker. Duke Blueblood. Now is not the time for such actions, but rather no action. Give the princess a little wiggle room. Let her think she's in charge, and soon enough, things will slip back to as they were. Yellowblood grows. You're a fool, Blueblood. Who knows how long they could take? That blasted alicorn will outlive us all. It's not just us we must worry about, dear Yellowblood. We must think of the future. I, for one, am looking forward to my son taking my place at this table, and I would assume the same for you all as well. Our goal is to preserve the noble class, lest the princess become wiser and figure out how much they don't need us. Blueblood slid out of his chair and began to walk away. Good day to you all. I hope you do nothing foolish. The remaining nobles whispered against themselves. That fool! Does he not realize how close we are to Project Eternal Rainbow? Now is the time. Push. Yellowblood whispered fiercely. green blood and violet blood nodding along. But the remaining two nobles, red blood and orange blood, who had remained silent all throughout the meeting, spoke up. We are in agreement with blue blood. Haste makes waste, as they say. We'll follow his lead on this matter. You three do as you wish. Come, cousin, red blood said, leading the way, orange blood right behind him. You're fools, all of you! Yellow blood screams at their backs. Slowly he sank back into his chair, his chest throbbing. Take it easy, my friend, green blood said, rubbing yellow blood's back, alleviating the pain. You're not well. All the more reason to speed things up. Contact Dr. Hoofenstein. Tell him we have another batch ready for him. Violet and Green look at one another with concern. Is that wise? If we take too many, Violet began, but a glare from Yellow Blood silenced her. Fine, but I fear our friends may be right. She sighs, trotting off as Green Blood helps Yellow Blood up. Are you going to abandon me too, old friend? Yellow Blood asks Green. Green Blood chuckles, shaking his head. No, of course not. Perhaps they are right. We may be acting a bit too rashly. On the other hoof, with both princes out of the city, now is the perfect time to get things done. Agreed. Come to take me back home? We have much work to get done in so little time. Elsewhere. Nightingale trots down Canterlot's main road that leads straight out of the city, her pace slow but steady. There was a lot of land between her and Luna's castle, and running at full gallop would only delay her in the end. The thought of going to one of the night patrol outposts came to mind, till she remembers there were none close by. Strangely, there were no villages between Canterlot and the castle of the two sisters, giving them no reason to build outposts out here. She'll have to bring that up in the future once everything is settled in the Empire. As Nightingale passed through the gates of Canterlot and out into the wilds, a large shadow flew overhead. There was a classic gasp from behind her as the sound of metal clinking against stone echoes behind her. Changed your mind already? That didn't take long. Nightingale turns and faces the princess, grinning widely as she stares into the Celestia's fiery pink eyes. At the moment, she reminded her of Luna, the Princess of the Sun. Nods humbly. Indeed I have. Need a lift? Well, I'm lacking a wing at the moment, so why not? Not every day some pony gets to stand on the back of royalty, Nightingale said as she hops onto Celestia's back, much to the shock of the nearby guards and citizens. Tally-ho, princess! Don't push it, Celestia warns. Nightingale chuckles sheepishly. Right. Of course. I forgot myself. Celestia offers the one-winged Pegasus a ghost of a smile as she took off. She was going to save her sister and every pony in the Empire. She had to. It's been 2 days since Luna and the others had left to the Crystal Empire, leaving Gadget as Supreme Commander of Night Patrol. To say the job is stressful would be an understatement, but that wasn't what was causing the middle-aged unicorn to turn restlessly at night. Nor was it his inventions that caused him to consume nearly the entire castle supply of coffee. No, it was neither of those things that were bothering him. The absence of his precious daughter Dusk was the cause of his ills. Even with the princess' reassurance and Applejack vowing to keep an eye on her, Gadget could not help but worry. Only when he was busy doing something for some pony or tinkering around with an invention could he be at ease. But when the time came to sleep, he could not find it. Dusk was at the forefront of his mind, and his fears of losing her were at their worst, and he tried to reach the world of dreams. A knock on the door brought him out of his musing. Straightening in his chair and chugging down the last of his coffee, he calls them in. Much to his surprise, it was Firefly, who was supposed to be setting up a new outpost in the wilds between the castle and Canterlot. Firefly, what's the matter? Why have you left your post? The pink Pegasus taps the stone floor nervously before answering. Well, there's a bit of a situation, sir. Gadget's eyes narrows. What kind of situation? Well, it's better if you come and see for yourself. Fine, lead the way. Firefly led him down to the courtyard, where at least 24 patrol squads were standing in the circle, their weapons posed and ready for use. Curious, he made his way through the crowd, the patrollers parting ways, making a path for him, giving him a free line of sight to wherever it was that had every pony in frenzy. Needless to say, he was rather surprised to see the Princess of the Sun standing before him. His surprise quickly turned to worry as he spots the pony next to her. Nightingale! He gasped, looking at the mare's missing wing. He was about to demand what happened when he spotted something red dripping from the mare's side. A quick sniff, and he instantly recognized the iron-scented blood. Get me a medic team here, now! The princess steps forward, only to back off as the surrounding ponies move in. My personal healers attended to her. Medical assistance is not. Celestial words fell silent as Nightingale drops to her side, exposing her hidden flank and her reopened wounds. Craning her neck back, Celestia was shocked to see more blood splatter on her back. Why didn't she tell me her wounds reopened? Celestia stood silently as medic ponies rushed Nightingale to the hospital wing, leaving her alone in a crowd of very angry-looking night ponies. Slowly, they closed in on her. Instinctively, she prepared to defend herself, but the unicorn that seemed to be in charge orders them to stop. Enough! All of you, return to your post. Princess Celestia may not be our princess, but Luna would be very displeased if we treated her any less than a royal guest that she is. Now scatter before I make you. Sure enough, all the ponies quickly left, leaving Celestia and Gadget standing alone in the yard. Come, princess, Gadget called, leading the way into the castle. Let's get you cleaned up, and perhaps you can tell me what happened to my subordinate. Of course, Mr. Gadget, but you may know me better as Starwind the Beardless. Celestia blinks. Starwind? Oh yes, I remember now. Star Swirl speaks very highly of you. Gadget raises a brow as he led the ponies. The princess. to Luna's private bath. Does he now? Strange that old stallion would give any pony praise. Anyways, here's the bath. I'm sure you knew already. Feel free to explain what's going on while you bathe. You're going to stay? Celestia inquires, a light blush appearing on her cheeks. Is that a problem? Luna listens to our reports and gives out orders while bathing sometimes. It's not like any pony isn't seeing anything more than usual. She said when she first did it. Granted, we were all rather embarrassed at first, but we got used to it. Celestia's blush grew deeper as she moves her regala, stepping into the warm water. Well then, I guess I should begin when I first found Nightingale on the northern border. She told Gadget everything she knew, from finding Nightingale, healing her, when Nightingale had reported to her, and about Sombra and Kriessa's invasion, and the noble ponies squabbling. She told him all of it, and he listened with rapt attention, never once speaking up or interrupting. He just sat there listening, with only the faint trembling of his hoof distinguishing him from the statues around the bath. When Celestia finished, Gadget storms out of the room, shouting orders at the top of his lungs. Celestia chasing after him, her regalia forgotten. Firefly, Sixes, Rawhide, in the commander's quarters, now! In mere minutes, the three ponies gather in the commander center. Gadget frantically throwing maps and other odd things onto the large table there. Celestia awkwardly standing off to the side, watching him work. The three ponies momently looking the regalia-less princess over before giving their full attention to their commander, who quickly explains the situation. The Crystal Empire is under attack and Princess Luna is struck right in the middle of it. Our enemies are Sombra, King of Mordor, and Queen Carissa of the Changelings. According to the reports from Nightingale, who managed to break through the enemy's blockade, the Crystal Heart was activated, but rather than destroying the enemy, it merely created a shield to keep them out. By Princess Celestia's accounts, the Heart will maintain the shield for at least 2 days. 3 at the most. We already lost 1 day, so we must act quickly. Firefly, you will maintain our outpost here. Princess Luna would never forgive us if we abandoned all our hard work just to save her. Aye, aye, sir. I'll get right on it, Firefly salutes. Good. Now, Rawhide, I need you to hoof-pick our most experienced troops. Whatever their race, though Pegasus and Unicorns would be the most useful. They need to move fast, too. This is a quick grab-and-run mission. We are not going there to fight a war. We're just going there to get our friends and any survivors out of there as quick as we can. Rawhide nods. I'll get you what you need, Gadget. My troopers will be ready. Thank you. You two go and fill out your orders. Rawhide and Firefly salutes and left, leaving Sixes and Celestia alone with Gadget. Sixes, you are going to need every dragon pony for this one. Most importantly, them. Celestia blinks. Them? Who are them? She asks, speaking for the first time. How long will it take to recall them? Gadget continues, ignoring Celestia's question. Sixes taps his chin. His brow frowned. A few hours. By myself. I'll take some flyers with me to reduce time. There's still a bit of time to track them down. Gadget sighs. I see. We'll get to it right away. I'll have something ready when they get here. Dismissed. Sixes salutes and leaves, leaving Celestia and Gadget alone. What are you planning? It will take at least a week to march a force of any kind to the Crystal Empire, much less fend off 2 armies. We'll be heavily outnumbered, Celestia points out. Outnumbered, yes. Outpowered? No. Gadget walks to the door, motioning Celestia to follow him. Come with me, Princess. I got something to show you. Gadget led her down what must have been a million stairs. By the time they reached the bottom, Celestia's poor hooves felt like they'd been through a meat grinder. Speaking of meat, she'd have to get some for the Griffin Ambassador coming next month. Pig would do. It was the main reason they were raised. Trade, slaughter. I'm getting off track. I wish Gadget would just tell me what it is he wants to show me, Celestia thinks to herself. For the entirety of their journey, Gadget remained silent, ignoring her questions about the renovations of the castle and what Luna had been up to for these past 6 months. Anything to kill the silence, but the graying unicorn seemed determined to stay tight-lipped. She wanted to press harder, unused to being ignored, but once she caught Gadget's eyes, felt the worry rolling off him. She decides to leave the unicorn alone. Here we are, he said, walking out into a large open room. Celestia, awestruck by all the machines being built. She'd never seen anything like it. She felt a tug on her wing and follows Gadget to the darkened part of the room. Lights! Gadget yells. Celestia closes her eyes, shielding them from the bright crystal light up above. When her eyes adjusted, her jaw drops. This is the Moon Cutter, Gadget said with pride. The first ever flying battleship. This is how we will travel to the Crystal Empire. Come on, let me give you a tour. This is the engine room. Gems inside these big metal pipes spin at high speeds to create energy to push the ship, while ice gems keep the engine cool. The cloud machine creates clouds for the ship to sail on. Next is the gallery, nothing much there. Then we have the hangar to hold troops and equipment, and finally the bridge, where we can stare and give out orders. And there is the princess chair. Gadget points to the black throne at the center of the bridge, with the moon emblem engraved on it. Any questions, Princess? Gadget asked. The shell-shocked Celestia. What in the question was Luna thinking making such a thing? Celestia gasped. A flying warship? The implications of such a thing made her shiver just thinking about it. Luna didn't make it, Gadget said, turning to face Celestia. I did. I designed it. I built it with my own hooves. Luna merely gave me the resources to make it. Why would you want to build such a thing? Gadget shrugs. Who knows? It just came to me in a dream one night. Woke up the next day, drew up the blueprint, though there is one special feature Luna wanted to add. And what is that? This. Pulling on a lever, Luna's chair moves to his side, allowing a similar white chair with a golden sun engraved on it to rise next to it. Despite your little spat, Princess Luna insists I add your very own chair. She said that while you may disagree at the moment, she knew there would be a time you two would come back together. Even though the Moon Cutter has been done for some time now. She insists that stay here till she made amends with you. Celestia was speechless. As she approached the throne, tensely she climbs onto the soft cushion, looking out the windows of the bridge and onto the landing deck. She closes her eyes, imagining Luna next to her. Them together again, defending Equestria from their flying ship. Honestly, the idea seemed much less horrifying now. In fact, it seems more of the old days that she remembers. Maybe. Oh, there's one thing Luna left for you, Princess. Please, Celestia said, raising her hoof. Call me Celestia. Of course, Celestia. Now please follow me. I think you'll like this one. Gadget leads her down to a vault, away from the other inventions. Thick steel doors blocking their path. A mere flick of his horn and the doors open, revealing two mannequins. One was fitted with a suit of silver armor with a black moon emblazoned on the flank mail. Next to it was a suit of gold armor with the sun engraved on it, and it's looking like it fitted for her. Is this? It is, Gadget finishes for her. Your armor. Luna requested for you. It's adjustable in case your old measurements are outdated. Will you need assistance getting it on? Celestia shakes her head. No, I want to do this myself. Please leave me. Gadget nods. Of course, I will finish the preparations. With that, Gadget took his leave, leaving Celestia alone in the vault. So we ride with Sunbutt. Yes, we will be under Princess Celestia's command till we rescue Princess Luna. Is that going to be a problem, Sixes? Gadget asked the Black Wren. The tapping steel against stone echoes. All eyes turn towards the sound, only to look away from the sheer radiance of light that came with it. Clad in armor of gold marched Celestia, her eyes darkened by her helm. Her hair was tied back, floating weightlessly in the air. In her back rest two large golden axes big enough to cleave a pony in two with one swing. She looks like the legends depict her back in the old days before the rise of discord. No longer was she Celestia, Princess of the Sun. She was Celestia, the Sun Warrior. I don't think I'll be having any issues, Gadget, said Sixes with a coy smile. In fact, I may be in love. Well, keep it tucked, my friend, Gadget whispers, as Celestia approaches them carrying Luna's armor and her magic. You may find yourself burned. I'm fireproof, remember? Sixes adds, receiving a quick kick in the shin from Gadget. Are we ready to leave? Celestia asked the two, her impressive aura nearly vanishing with her polite and somewhat strained tone. She was pacing silently. The weight of the armor put a lot of strain on her as it fed off her magic, no doubt from Luna's modification. She had to ask how to use them later. For now, she had to remain tough and keep her posture. Some time has passed since she last went to battle, but she understood the mentality of warriors. If she wants their respect, she would need to earn it, and showing any weakness would undermine that. Almost, Princess. We're still waiting on a final preparation for the ship. The engines take some time to warm up, Gotcha explains. Oh look, here come the troops. From the door, Rawhide emerged with a line of troops behind him. But it was the 3 dragon ponies behind him that got every pony's attention. They were tall, almost as tall as Celestia, and walked on 6 clawed legs. They looked nothing like Celestia had ever seen before. For a moment she wondered if they were some leftover creation of discord, because there was nothing natural about these ponies. One was an orange-reddish color with a mane of fire, and unlike the other dragon ponies, lacked wings. Then the next one, a green pony, with the mane and tail made of crystal with sharp diamond-like spikes sticking out of their knee joints, and a long jagged unicorn horn on top of its head. The third and final pony was a pure white with 2 sets of wings carrying 2 griffin swords on its side. Princess, Sixtus said, walking in front of the stunned royalty, allow me to introduce the Night Hunters, Overheat, Emerald Cutter, and Killing Perfection, our finest warriors, though some like to refer to them as the Monster Ponies. Stupid nobles. War has broke out. You're going to sit there, banter, and going to ignore orders from Princess Celestia, who has summoned you short notice with the threat of treason. That is treason in itself. You have armies, you had the ponies, you had the numbers. All you had to do was give the word. This is why Princess Luna created Night Patrol for such now. As we continue on the chapters, this is just 10 of 34, and each night I'll be posting a chapter. I'm glad to see that you all are hearing this, that you are enjoying these readings. I enjoy reading them. I just also want to let you guys know that I appreciate it very much. I appreciate the support. I know the holidays are coming up. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa. Fear not, I do not rest on holidays? I hardly rest at all. Schoolwork is going well. 3 finals coming up. And I'll be passing them. All the while doing these amazing readings. Thank you all, and have a wonderful night.